All right, friends, so here's the deal. We're in the auditorium again tomorrow, so report right to the auditorium. If you have not yet done your parody, make sure that you get it there today to me online. I had one student bring it on a flash drive. You're allowed to do that as well. And if you need to bring it on to a flash drive, I am actually in the English office working today, so you can bring it in there. Otherwise, I expect it to be somehow in my email, whether that's on a Google Doc or shared to me on YouTube. Okay? So either way, I need it today. As Logan can plainly tell you, if I don't get a chance to preview it, we're not watching it in the auditorium. Friday's the last day we're going to be in the auditorium, which means your grade is going to drop exponentially. Why? Because it's a film festival. Okay? So hopefully you're going to have it ready. If you don't do it, you lose 100 points. If you do it late, you're going to lose 50 right off the top. Okay? So don't do that. All right, other little tidbits of information. The Coffee House Poetry Reading is in the library next week, Thursday. Your 7 poems are due typed to me next week, Wednesday. So remember, you need 7 of 10. I want 1 on each page, and you need to actually print it out, okay? So don't tell me all the reasons why you can't print it out. You have from now until next week, Wednesday, before you leave school, to give me the hard copy. Also, something new, in addition to those 7 pages, 1 page for each poem, you also need a table of contents where you are going to label page 1 dash where I'm from poem. And then if you gave it another title, you can give me that title. Page 2, free verse, and then give me the title of your free verse poem. Pixie Sticks, whatever. All right. And then you're going to have to name your book. Don't call it poetry book. Don't call it creative writing poems. Don't call it poems about me. Get a little creative, shall we? All right. Also, don't forget that I made comments on your poems. There's a few of them. If you turn it in late or if it was like really good, I might not have made comments on it. Probably only skipped it if it was late. Maybe in a few small cases. I didn't put comments on it and it wasn't late. But the rest of you, if you submitted something online, that will be all taken care of probably by Friday, but definitely by Monday. And don't panic because you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to type it. So most of that stuff, there were a few people who submitted everything online and they will be able to, they have most of their stuff already with feedback on it. So you're not going to have to worry about typing, right? Because you submitted online. The only thing you're going to have to do is make revisions. Now, this is for everybody. Make revisions. All right? I didn't go through and make comments on there so that you could just ignore them. Now, I told you this before and I meant it. It's your poem. It's your creativity here. And if you're feeling like, you know what, Mrs. Peterson, I don't want to change that. I understand where you're coming from. I respect your input, but I just really feel strongly that that is what I wanted to do. That's fine. Keep in mind, though, I'm coming from, 20 years of poetry experience. So if you're going to disregard that, you're probably going to see that in your grade. Okay? So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's quickly talk about the poetry reading. Next week, Thursday, you'll report to the library. I will have your books by then, so make sure that you also have a printed copy of the poem that you're going to read. And if you think you're going to read more than one poem so that you do extra credit at the end, that is super duper, okay? But you need to have printed copies of both of them. Don't be like, Miss Peterson, do you have my poetry book? Because I have to read and I don't have a copy. No, bummer for you. All right. Also remember that a poetry reading is not just you standing up there reading a poem, especially because a lot of people when they read are just like looking into the paper and not really performing. So if you are really musical, you can play the drums along with it. Like that. Remember when we saw the Bacon one? The guy from Parks and Rec. He did the bacon poem, and he had the drums. You can play the guitar or the ukulele. I mean, we found out, when was that? Yesterday? Yeah, that Emma plays the ukulele.
Night,
so,
Mom, love you.
Night, friend. Love you too. Sorry about that. It's bedtime around here. Bedtime for Bonzo, and I'm Bonzo. All right. Anyway, what else? Yeah. So you are going to, like perhaps wear a costume, have some props. One year, a student wrote about heaven, and he had two people stand on either side of him, and he was holding a flashlight. When he got to the end, they lifted him up in the air, and he turned the flashlight on like underneath him so his face was illuminated. Another kid wrote about basketball, and he dressed in his uniform and was like dribbling while he said his poem. You don't need to have them memorized. If you do memorize your poem, it's extra credit. If you wear all black for the poetry reading, it's extra credit. If you don't bring in a snack, you lose points. It's part of the requirement. So make sure that you, again, talk to your parents about whatever it is that you want to do. Jenna, by the way, if Jenna is there, if Jenna's not there, then Noah. But if Jenna's there, Jenna, take out a piece of paper right now and get it started. Start circulating, sign up your name, and then what you think you're going to bring, okay? This is not a contract that, we're signing in blood, and that if you don't bring those barbecue chips, then you're going to get an F. No, but I don't want 6 people bringing brownies, as much as I love brownies, okay? So sign up for different things. Look at what everybody else signed up for, Taco dip is always a favorite. Salsa, guacamole, meatballs. We've had people bring pizza rolls in. I do have a pizza maker. It's not really great. So, don't say, we should make a frozen pizza. We're not doing that. We have had people bring in homemade macaroni and cheese, Oreo cookies, a bag of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, homemade cookies, cupcakes, a pie, all sorts of different stuff. So just figure out what you're going to probably bring, so that way we know who's bringing what, and you can also let your parents know if they're going to be doing the shopping or the preparing of the food. All right? So today you're working on either your parody, finishing that up, which is now late, or you're writing poems, which are also now late because your last poem was due on Monday, or you're typing poems. Tomorrow, meet in the auditorium for the last of the parodies. And then next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be finishing up typing and preparing for the poetry reading. So think about a prop that you want to use. You could do a slideshow. You could do the instrument. You could, dress in character. You could have somebody there acting out a skit. Get creative. Remember the one that we saw from So I Married an Axe Murderer, the Woman, Woman, Woman poem? And he had a little band behind him. He had a slideshow. He had a candle that he blew out at the end to signify the end of their relationship. See the symbolism there? All right, so think about that and get creative. And I know you're thinking, I'm getting really stressed. Don't get stressed. This is even less stress than the film festival. That had to be a minute and a half. Seriously, the poems, even if you read a poem that was 20 lines long, which most of you didn't write poems that long, but even if you did, it's going to take you less than a minute. You get up in front, you read your poem, you spend the next 40 minutes eating delicious snacks and drinking delicious beverages, okay? So that's next week, Thursday, in the library. So next week, Thursday, you report right to the library with your printed off extra copy of the poem, because you already have handed in your book by then, okay? So don't be asking me, Miss Peterson, you look at my book? I left it in the room. You left it in I gave it to you yesterday. No. Print up an extra copy of whatever it is that you think you're going to read out loud for the poetry reading, okay? All right, is there anything else I need to tell you? $2 to me by next week, Tuesday. I already told you that if you thought this was going to be a financial burden, you needed to let me know within 2 days of when I told you about it, and nobody did. So that's now considered a part of your participation grade. $2 by next week, Tuesday. Food to pass next week, Thursday. You can bring that in to me. We can put it in the fridge or put it on a table in the English office where it'll be safe from Piggy Wiggies. And your poetry book typed, 7 of the 10 poems by next week Wednesday, 1 poem per page, table of contents, cover page with a title. Don't forget to put your name on it, staple it together so I have everything all together, okay? Alrighty then, and special thanks to all the people who already did their parodies and who already submitted those. I really do appreciate your courage in getting up there. And some of you sang on your own. Some of you, got other people to sing, had your words in there. And some of you just really did an amazing job. You were very clear. You were very artistic. So thanks so much for that. All right. Yeah. All right. Be good. Get to work. Do something. We're almost at the end of this unit. So then we'll be moving on to something else. So, all right, friends. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.